Steve, what are you thinking about?
Well, I was just wondering, if you're traveling at the speed of light and you turn your radio on, will you hear it?
Yeah. Last I checked, I guess.
I thought so.
I was wondering if now might be a good time to share with everyone the story of us buying the van.
I like it.
Remember in last week's episode, we showed how we rented the Ford Transit to make sure it was absolutely the best make and model for our needs.
Was the video any good?
7 1/3 people liked it.
Which third of the third liked it?
The third half.
That's the quality third, if you ask me.
I'd have to agree. So, how about back to the topic at hand? Why don't we share the story about us buying the van? What do you remember about the process?
Well, let me tell you. I got to ride in the sky in an airplane. Oh, and then I got to ride in a choo-choo train.
Steve, keep your hands on the wheel.
Oh, no worries. We've got cruise control.
If you say so. I've got an idea. How about we just play the recap video now of your journey to get the van?
I like it.
On March 9th, I flew to Philadelphia International Airport with the important mission of picking up our new van. During my travels, I crossed paths with some familiar faces and some unfamiliar faces. Once I arrived in Philly, I took a ride on a Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority train. That's SEPTA to you and me. It was a short ride to the historic 30th Street station in downtown Philly, one of the busiest train stations in all of the United States. In case you forgot, Philadelphia is also home of the 2018 Super Bowl champions. Fly, Eagles, fly. And also the location for that iconic moment when Rocky ran up the steps of the Philadelphia Museum of Art. Philly is also the site of the ongoing rivalry between Pat's and Geno's. Who does have the best cheesesteaks? The answer is neither. My dad makes the best. So nanner, boo, boo. So anyway, back to the mission at hand. Next, I hopped aboard a westbound Amtrak train heading to picturesque Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. And yes, it's pronounced Lancaster, not Lancaster. You don't want to get that wrong, or the Amish Mafia will rough you up. Our good friend and vehicle concierge, Darren Souder of Souder Motors, was waiting for me at the Lancaster train station in the 2019 Ford Transit that he had recently acquired for us after months of searching. We went straight to the shop and took care of the paperwork. Not only did Darren and his team work hard in finding us the right van, he and his lovely wife, Meg, let me crash at their house overnight. Now that's customer service. If you ask them nicely, maybe they'll let you sleep there too. The next morning, the Souders helped me get set up for the drive home. They even sent me off with an amazing travel care package that would have fed 10 strong men, or 15 weaker ones. Mission accomplished. We'll just let this dramatic music play out. But wait, there's more. Since I had at least an 18-hour drive ahead of me, I hit the road early but took time to make a pit stop to see my parents and show them our future home on wheels.
Oh my goodness! Look at this! So you're gonna, wow, now you can come up all the time and even have a visit.
After a brief visit, I was back on the road with the goal of making it to Florence, South Carolina for the night.
Use the right 2 lanes to take exit 11B, then keep right at the fork.
About 10 hours later, I pulled into a Walmart right off the highway and settled in for the night on an air mattress I had brought with me from Florida and blankets and a pillow provided by the Queens of Hospitality, my mom and Meg. Temperatures were in the 50s overnight, a little chilly for sleeping in an uninsulated van. After a somewhat decent night's sleep in the cold with trucks coming and going in the Walmart parking lot, I was back on the road and had a fairly uneventful trip home, except for my traveling partner that kept farting in the van.
Did you fart?
Approximately 9 hours later, I pulled in our driveway with the van and Audra fell in love.
When Steve brought the van home, I was definitely in love. Oh yeah, and it was nice to see Steve too. We took the van for a spin, and it was so exciting. One of the things we love about the Transit is how high up we sit in it when we're driving. We have such a better view of our surroundings. That brings us to the other reasons why we chose this specific van. Many years ago, we seriously considered purchasing an RV. We looked at fifth wheels, travel trailers, Class A's, and Class B's. In 2009, we were actually very close to selling our house and living full-time on the road. We had looked at and test-driven several different RVs and even had a specific Class A model picked out. However, a change in circumstances put the whole idea on the back burner. Fast forward to 2019, when we began a new search for a home on wheels. We decided against the idea of a larger RV because they can't fit into regular parking spots, are kind of a beast to drive, and guzzle gas like crazy. Cha-ching! We also ruled out any trailers or options that don't allow direct access from the cab to the living area. Having cats, we wanted them to be able to be with us and also have access to our living space when we travel. In an emergency situation, we also want to be able to go from the bed to the driver's seat directly and to get away quickly, always ready at a moment's notice. This time we went to an RV dealer and checked out smaller B-class RVs, including the Travato, which is built on a cargo van chassis. However, not only are they much more expensive, more than double what we're investing into our van, we also didn't like the manufactured feel of the interior furniture and decor. After seeing all the van conversions online that had much more character and were built to suit their owners, we decided that was the way to go.
We started researching vans and quickly narrowed it down to the Dodge Promaster and the Ford Transit.
We had easily ruled out the Mercedes Sprinter because they are generally more expensive and less convenient to service. From our understanding, parts are more expensive and there are less garages that service them. We also ruled out the Nissan NV, mostly because we just don't like how it looks. We test drove the high roof Promaster and Transit. Both were comfortable to drive. The standard length Transit has a little more square footage for living space than the Promaster. The interior width of the Transit is narrower than the other vans overall, but when we tested it, it was still able to fit a double bed, head to toe from side to side. While both vans have some nice features, the Transit has more headroom at 6 feet 8 inches, more than any other cargo van, at least 4 inches more headroom than the Promaster. And with Steve being 6 foot 3 inches, the Transit high roof was the winner. Steve is able to stand comfortably in our van, even after finishing the floor and ceiling. Initially, we thought we wanted a passenger van instead of a cargo van because of all the extra windows along the side of the van and the extra seating options. But passenger models proved to be much more difficult to find used and also seemed to be more expensive. We also realized that there would be a lot more heat loss or gain, depending on the time of year, with more windows. We settled on finding a cargo van instead, with the plan of installing some of our own windows after purchase.
While the extra space, almost 14 square feet, is nice in the extended van, the downside is it's very hard to find parking.
When we started planning for RV life, I had my heart set on a separate bathroom, but alas, without the extra space of an extended model, that really is not practical. We decided, especially since we aren't going to live in our van full-time right now, that we would get creative with our bath and shower facilities and do without a separate room. But if the separate bathroom area with a shower is a must-have for you, we recommend the extended model. Some of our must-haves included a sleeping area long enough for us both to stretch out, a kitchen area, an area to do computer work, space for our cats and their supplies, some comfortable seating, a place to store our bikes, a toilet, and good ventilation. Before making a final decision to go ahead with purchasing a van, we made detailed designs to make sure we'd be able to accomplish all these things in a way that works for us with the standard length Ford Transit. So now that we knew which kind of van we wanted, we had to figure out the rest of the specifications, like cost, year, miles, etc. We try to be wise with how we spend our money, and that includes our vehicles. Other than our home, this van was our biggest purchase to date. As a rule, we've decided we'll never buy a brand new vehicle. When we started our van search in the spring of 2019, our goal was to find something with higher miles and lower cost. But over time, as we became familiar with the market and thought more about the investment, We decided if we were going to invest in building out a vehicle, it might be wiser to spend more money up front on something that would last longer and also have a higher resale value if we decided to part with it in the coming years. We stopped looking at the older models and began focusing our search on 2018 and 2019 models with less miles. We also were hoping for a van that already had windows in the back, something that's not as common in cargo vans, and we are also hoping for a decent condition overall. As we studied the market, it seemed that most cargo vans that came through the auctions were rentals that had all sorts of scratches and dents. We decided on some parameters for condition and price that were acceptable to us. Our dealer, Sauter Motors, began to bid on a few for us. Several sold for more than our max price or had issues that were too drastic, and we started to become discouraged. Our dealer sent us photos of van after van. We started wondering if we would ever find one. Finally, in mid-January, months after we had started looking, a van came along with a buy-it-now price that fit our criteria. We didn't have to wait for a bidding war, so we jumped at the chance, and Sauter Motors bought it for us. Days later, when the van got to the dealership, they discovered it had damage that had not been disclosed at the auction, and the seller wouldn't adjust the price accordingly.
The back right.
We were so disappointed.
And here's the door. And then up there is another scratch.
Back to the auction it went. What a sad day. Over the next few weeks, more vans came and went. Nothing seemed to be right for us. Finally, we got a call from Sauter Motors on February 28th about another van that fit our criteria. We made the quick decision to go for it, and later that day got confirmation that we had another van. This time we didn't get too excited though, waiting until it actually got to Sauter Motors where they could go over it in person before we'd get too excited.
Hey guys, the van made it here. Ethan and a friend picked it up last night late. It looks great. No dents. Yay! Tires look good. There's one little nick in the back door. Everything's very minor. And then the right sliding door, our dent guy will pop those dents. You can see just a little right in there, here, and here. But the paint's not broken, which is awesome. So it looks real good, no smells. The cargo area is a little more worn, like from boxes being loaded. So you can just see scuffs. Cruise control, woohoo! All the seats are in great shape.
Steve booked a flight to Pennsylvania and we prepared for the arrival of our van. We've now had it for several months and we couldn't be happier with it.
Thanks for watching another one of our episodes. We hope you enjoyed it. Thanks also to everyone who has subscribed and connected with us.
Reminder, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. It's free and it helps us out. And follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Steve and Audra.
Gotta have your seatbelt on. Naughty, naughty. Well, I was just wondering, if you're traveling at the speed of light, will you hear it? Dirty, dirty, won't cook it. What are you looking at? Dear be dear.
Remember in last week's video, we showed how we'd rented. Nope. Should I move while I'm talking? Why don't we show everyone the video now?
Shoe fly. Be free.
How about you put your hands on the wheel? So I'm looking at the camera. Steve, how about you put your hands on the wheel? Ah, dang it.
I'm on the camera.
How about we play the recap video now of your journey for purchasing the van? In last week's video, we showed how we rented a Ford Transit. Do you like how I look over first? Keep your hands on the wheel. One more.
Our van is a 2019 Ford Transit with 148 inch wheelbase. Our van is a 2019 high roof. Our van is a 2019 high roof. We started researching vans and quickly narrowed it down to the Dodge Transit and the Ford Transit. Nope. We started sweating profusely. While the extra almost 14 square feet is nice in the extended, it doesn't fit. We decided to buy the Ford Transit because of the headroom that it provides, which is nice considering that I am 5 foot 15 inches tall. Thanks to everyone who's watched. Steve should just quit.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna power through. Thanks to everyone who. Yeah, we're done.